we can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you made it tonight. Welcome to our 50th anniversary celebration, our official kickoff of our 50th year. And as I was saying earlier, I hope for it to look a little different, but we're still excited to celebrate and recognize our accomplishments. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the webinar format for tonight. You can see us, but we can't see you. So please kick back and enjoy your ice cream. Tonight, we'll be telling a few stories. So go ahead, use the chat box to share your stories. Now, what can you expect tonight? We're going to debut our 50th anniversary videos. Yes, we have two because, of course, you can't get too much of a good thing. And in our Montessori practice, we really love our repetition. We are also going to hear some short stories from past and present board members and current students. And for those paying attention, we'll have a few goodies to give away and a special guest and announcement to close the evening. We thought our 50th would look very different from the current situation we all find ourselves in, but it's appropriate. Our mission is to guide children to be independent, resilient, compassionate, socially aware, global thinkers, ready to navigate this changing world, and we certainly have seen constant change. And here we are today as a school, delivering our mission despite a global pandemic. We're creating joyful learning experiences for our students on and off campus. It's important work and a moment of brightness in all our days. We're here to remember the people who made this possible, from our founder, the many teachers, staff, parents, and students who helped build our small school, which started in a church basement like so many other schools, to where we are today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Laura Manick. I'm the fourth head of Butler Montessori and the daughter of our school's founder. I'm the middle child in my family of origin, and we were all born pretty close together. I was born in 1960, and if you pay close attention to the stories tonight, you might see how all of this is connected. So without further ado, let's show the first video. And while the video loads, grab your tissue boxes. You might need them. Enjoy.
One of the ideas of Montessori that is philosophically one of the underpinnings that is taught inside of the elementary education is the idea of gratitude for others and the people who have come before us. The fascination of human development was always something that my mother was deeply interested in. How did humans develop to their full potential?
Being in this Montessori setting kind of helped me become an independent learner and a creative thinker. I've applied that throughout my life in everything I've done.
Now more than ever, children need this opportunity to exert their will and learn about themselves in a place that offers them freedom with responsibility.
When I was here, I would ask for something, and a teacher would come to me and would sit down with me, and we would discuss it, and we would discuss how we could make it happen.
The aspect of Montessori in the primary years and then later in the elementary that allows for movement and connects movement to purposeful work was a piece that for my mother was so illuminating that it just drew her in a way that nothing else did.
50th to me means they've been around a long time. I've been involved with them for a really long time, and I don't think they've changed their way. They've become better because they haven't changed it. They're more focused, and so I think that they give a great quality of education.
My mother, Dolores Devereux, she was part of the very first class, along with Rilla Spellman, and my aunt Helen Egan of the Washington Montessori Institute. They graduated in 1960.
The teachers just always seem to be these like polished professionals walking around the room, like creating magic, whether it's like through their stories that they're telling or through the art that they're, teaching the children how to create.
I love Butler. I've given 100% every day that I walk in the door for the kids. I love the kids.
being able to be confident in what they know, I think is a hallmark of a Montessori child is as you encounter students over the course of time.
So I think the reason that I have enough confidence to become a professional artist or a career artist comes from Butler. It gives me the confidence to know that I can be successful despite whatever obstacles are gonna come my way.
At a school like Butler, where there are less than 30 kids in the 7th and 8th grade class, you can have a baseline connection with each person in that class, which makes for a close-knit community and friendships and connections that last.
It's a new world out there that they're going to be taking control of one day, but the core principles, they're still the same. You still have to have integrity, you still have to work hard, you still have to understand how to put people before yourself, and I think that Butler gets that right.
It's kind of like coming onto this campus for the first time. You know you're in the right place. It's a feeling you get when you roll in and seeing the horses and all the kids moving around doing things, and you're like, this is great. This is a good place to be.
That was beautiful. Next, I'd like to introduce our speaker who's coming next. She's the beautiful energy behind our videos. I first met Sandy Wright about 20 years ago. She's the parent of 2 Butler Montessori alumni. She served on our board of trustees. She's been a tremendous support to me and the school, and I'm honored to call her my friend. Please welcome Sandy Wright.
As long as I can unmute. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
What a great, great celebration. How are you doing, Laura? You're doing very well, I think.
Oh, thank you. You know I'm an educator, not really a webinar person, but we'll keep going.
Like me. So that movie or film was produced by a friend of mine, actually the woman who introduced Dave and I in college. And yes, we're still friends with her. And yes, I'm still with Dave. So yeah, she connected with a Emmy Award-winning cinematographer who has a production company, and she's the producer, and the name of the company is Manilia Media. Frank Manilia is the cinematographer. And I knew once I saw some of their work that they would be able to create the films that would tell the Butler story. And they did, it worked. So I hope you enjoyed that, and there's more to come.
More to come. It was amazing to work with them, to be with them, and to see the story unfold. They just came to campus and spent days on campus really understanding us. And I think in our second video, you'll see how that all unfolds. It was really a lot of fun. Thank you for that, Sandy.
And thank Anne and Frank.
Oh,
Media.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, they did such a great job.
Great job.
And I thought it was important to have something that lasts beyond, I don't know, something we can look at over and over again to remember, you know, our times at Butler. And now I'm supposed to tell a story now, is that correct?
That's right. It's your turn to tell a story.
Okay, yeah, so yes. And well, looking over the past 20 years, because even though my children graduated maybe 10 years ago, I still haven't really left Butler. It was really hard to choose from so many memories. I'm going to list a few, and I'm hoping some on this Zoom will also remember some of these times. I remember taking down the tennis court, parents and students both, for the new building. It's actually called the tennis court building in the county permit records. The new building, for those of you that don't know, is the Ginny Wright Art Center. Oh, the tennis court, right. Yes, Q. I remember holding Simone Thompson as a baby, screaming as only Simone could scream, so Nadine could attend one of the first BBC meetings.
No.
I remember painting and laying carpet in the primary classrooms with many parents keen to give back. I remember watching children play on the big rocks in the gardens that are set there intentionally for precisely that reason.
For children to play.
Yeah. And only at Butler can you play on the rocks.
I love it.
I remember saying okay to Danny Bollier, who I barely knew at that point, when she said to me, I want to host a Butler dinner at your house. I have the dishes. I could only agree. It's all about the dishes. I remember bringing Mrs. Wolf's primary class year after year to our greenhouse to plant grass seed in socks. Enjoying the mayhem of 25-year-olds running and playing all around the yard. And then, when it was time to go, I remember watching in awe as Mrs. Wolf sat quietly, began speaking quietly, and like the Pied Piper, the children slowly gathered around her, lined up, and got on the bus. Loved it. No yelling, no nothing, just quiet speaking.
Nice.
I remember, and Kim, you might remember this, bidding $300 at a fundraising auction to win a basket with a bouncing ball that I had actually bought and donated in the first place. And I do remember winning Carrie Wilson's brownies for a mere $200, about $5 a bite.
That was a bargain.
I'm sorry, I'm going on and on. It's been a long time. I remember taking other people's children on going outs. And I remember one trip to the Science Museum after a discussion of primary colors when 6-year-old Shay Shay Miriam remarked, we have primaries at our school too.
Funny.
I remember taking a day off from work for going out and listening to my dumbfounded colleague. Wait, let me get this straight. You're taking a day off work to take somebody else's children, not your own, to the zoo? I just don't get it, he said. Well, yeah, he didn't get it, and he didn't get what I got. I got many children, now in their 20s, that are still part of my life. I got to be Mrs. Terrio.
Known to many as Mrs. Cheerio.
Mrs. Cheerio. And I remember being heartbroken when the kids got to the intermediates where they don't let parents come on the amazing trips. So Butler creates truly long-lasting relationships. And I will forever be grateful to Cheryl Rowe for suggesting to my husband that we take a look at Butler for our children. I remember slowly bumping down an unpaved gravel driveway. Who remembers that? And rounding the corner and a feeling of calm and peace washing over me. Then I remember sitting in the corner of a primary classroom as little humans worked quietly and independently with such engagement. I remember thinking, oh yes, my children should definitely go here. Well, at least until free kindergarten. And then, and this is the story that always comes to mind when I think about Butler, I remember when my husband and I were at our first winter festival, back when the performances were held in 3 different classrooms in the main building.
Wandered.
Jam-packed, you know, mayhem. We were finding our way to the next performance in the busy hallway, which of course was made more difficult by the tears in my eyes from the sweetness of the last performance. I remember watching as an anonymous intermediate student called out, "Hi, Dylan," to our 3-year-old. Dave and I stopped dead in our tracks. Where else would you find a middle school student with that much respect and self-awareness to say hello to a 3-year-old by name? That's it. I remember my husband saying, "We're staying." So that was our Butler moment. What's yours? Put it in the chat box or in the Survey Monkey.
Nice. That was an amazing story, Sandy. She
Thank
left out about 52 zillion other I remembers. I remember.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Stop and read. I remember field trip, and when we went to, yeah, fantastic memories. Thank you for that. It was great. I love it.
Thank you for the memories.
We, as you can tell, have had a lot of fun over the years. But before we move on to the next speaker, we're going to have a little bit of a drawing. I'm going to show you our special anniversary gifts, and we're going to give 2 sets of family masks to, let's see, and we have some child-size ones, right? And we had to pre-draw, so if you registered early, you're in the pre-drawing. Sandy, do you want to give away the first winner for the family set of masks?
Well, I'd love to, except I can only pick myself as a winner.
Natasha, can you help us over audio? We'll come back to that.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to our next guest. Thank you, Sandy. We'll come back to that. And
oh no, Laura, I sent the wrong person. Okay, now we've got Gavin and Laura back. Laura, you have to unmute yourself again, and Gavin, you as well, please. Laura, you're still unmuted. So is Gavin.
hi, Gavin. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Can I start again from the top? Gavin's a Butler Montessori student, a current Butler Montessori student. He's a kind friend with a terrific sense of humor. Please welcome Gavin Manning.
Hi, my name is Gavin, and one of the things I like about Butler in my upper elementary class is our annual trip to Echo Hill. Every fall in upper elementary, Miss Wilson takes us on a trip to Echo Hill to study the watershed and ecosystem. We had outdoor lessons and stayed over for 3 days. We went on a boat, had team building activities, and lots more. The thing lots of people remember, at least, is slop. How it works is we eat our normal meals, 3, and all the leftover food gets weighed to see how much there was, and sometimes we sing a song that's entirely made up of the one word, slop. I learned a lot, and it was really, really fun. Another thing I like about Butler is the classroom and the way it's set up. I like how you can choose what you want to do and when, and how you can move around the classroom and ask for lessons. It's what I think makes Montessori schools really unique.
Well, that's an awesome story about Echo Hill. And I know everyone loves that slop song, right? It goes probably something like slop, 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 but
yeah.
Yeah. Gavin, I know that we talked a little bit earlier about the drawing and the special drawing. We have 2 sweatshirts to give away 2 times, 2 sets to 2 families. Gavin, how did you do with your drawing? These are the beautiful sweatshirts that we have to give away tonight, 2 times over. How did you do?
Well, our first winner is Raj Joshi and his family.
Nice. Okay. Now we can repeat that. I think Gavin's got his names going on with his
Raj Joshi.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second?
And our second winner is Lucia Perez and her family.
Nice. Thank you, Gavin. Awesome. Okay, we're going to welcome our next guest. Thanks, Gavin. See you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you for that great story. Next, we're going to welcome our second elementary student, Suhana Raphael. She loves playing soccer. She loves playing at the creek, and she's passionate about reading. Please welcome Suhana Raphael. Suhana, how are you tonight?
Hi, my name is Suhana Tivari Raphael. I'm in Miss Wilson's upper elementary classroom, and I've been a Butler for 4 years. One of the things I enjoy most about Butler is the amount of time we spend outside. For instance, sometimes during recess, we go to the creek, and when we go there, we play a version of tag, where one person is it. They try to tag everyone else, and everyone they tag becomes part of their team. Another thing I enjoy is the school plays we do every year. One year I was the moon, and a couple other of my friends were the earth, the sun, and the stars. And we turned that into a game that we played at recess. It was inspired by the play we did. Being a butler has really been a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to the intermediates.
I know you're going to love it, and we adore having you. Thank you, Suhana. That was a beautiful story. Suhana has a special drawing as well for two families. I think you can see them. Let me see. I'm not sure. Two sets of wonderful Butler Montessori coffee mugs. Suhana, how did you do with your drawing?
The first winner is Mary Karen Jordan.
Nice. And wait, the second winner?
Second winner is Caroline Ewing. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Suhana. I appreciate you coming out tonight. I love your story. Now we're going to move right on to the second video. I hope you enjoy it.
But this was a gift. Now you might not like it if your backyard was overflowing.
Kind of passion that they have for the things in their environment they take out into the world, and children who have been connected to nature, their connection to nature leads them to wanting to discover more.
To learn out of a sense of awe will guide them to creating solutions that could definitely make an impact in our future world.
These are the units.
If you build a square,
This process is well developed, it is proper, it is the right thing for kids, and it will bring them along, and they will be more mature. They will be everything that you hope for them to be.
To be a woman actively practicing medicine in Italy in 1896 was a remarkable achievement. It brought public acclaim and notoriety to Dr. Maria Montessori. It was Dr. Montessori's gift for truly seeing, understanding, and respecting children that led to her greatest accomplishment, the development of a unique and effective approach to education.
yeah, we'll give it back. And what do we get for it?
Dr. Montessori determined that children are hardwired to learn and that the environment around them can facilitate that learning. Her observations and work revealed 4 different planes of human development from birth to early adulthood.
What Montessori did that was so genius was allow for those planes of development, the characteristics of that child at that time, to be free, to be using the characteristics of the human being to motivate them towards learning.
And then you can start writing the next word. That helps you to get a spacing.
In the primary years, they're very individual. They want to repeat. That's the nature of that child, to do it again. And they want to be independent. They show me, let me do it for myself. That's what they want.
The Montessori philosophy also encompasses your belongings and being responsible for your things, including rubber boots. And so the whole process of going on hikes begins with, I need to change my shoes to the proper footwear in order to go into the water. It's all about how do I get prepared for the next activity, rather than saying, let's go to the creek, and they all storm the creek, and all of a sudden you have 20 wet children.
In primary, it's more of an orientation work, but Jaden seems to love doing this work, so we've gone really deep. And that's the beauty about being in a Montessori environment. There's no one plan for each child. It depends on the child's interest, and you kind of follow them. Yes, Jaden?
Why aren't you going to tell her about the families?
The families, that's a really good point. So we have different colors here. This is the simple family, and this is the 1,000 families, and this is the million family. The decimal system is kind of like the overall picture of math. If you have this understood, the concept of that, then everything else kind of falls into place.
In the elementary, what are they? They're very social. It's a gregario kind of period where they want to be with other people. That's what they want. They want to talk. So why would we not put them in an environment where there's socialization? And so it's group work in the elementary.
I love the 3 age groups in one classroom. I love that there's a mix of students that are working with each other and helping each other. I love that I have 3 years to really get to know a child and learn how to teach them and how to connect with them, and then use that in a way to help make their education experience as rich as possible. If we open this up, these students have done a lot of work over the last 2 years about the parts of flowers because it's classifying and it's scientific. It helps them with sequencing, it helps them to look at small patterns and to tell the difference between things that are very, very small, which helps to grow their minds. I don't see any mature eggs, so it's going to be harder to tell on this one than it was the lily.
My favorite subjects are history, geography, and writing. I love those. I love written expression. It's like my favorite things.
So we were going to look for the Maya, right? The elementary child is really, really interested in learning not only about themselves as human beings, but how they relate to human culture as a whole. They're beginning to organize their knowledge in a more sort of systematic way.
It's amazing you kept all this.
I started piling up all my work from 4th grade and 5th grade and organizing it, and we use it as a reference for harder and more difficult work. And it's really nice to just look at the work and then see how much I've done.
And the third plane of development, the children, they're young people at this point, and they really are in very changing bodies. They want to be deeply connected to nature. And another piece that they want is they're asking this question, who am I in relationship to my community? What is going to be my purpose?
The microeconomy program stems from the idea that Dr. Montessori had that the adolescent is a human that is in a state of flux. She likened the adolescent to an infant in the adult community. And what better way to step into a world than in a very embracing world like a rural, farming, agricultural community. So the experiences they gain here at the farm program give them a new sense of confidence and comfortability in an area of their life that they have not been able to evolve and grow.
Okay, that will be $10.
That's the way they teach here. They give you a lot of exposure to a lot of things, a lot of responsibility to learn yourself. I don't think you get that in public schools.
Music can help any child and also adults to step out of their comfort zone, which is really hard for all of us. You can't expect to teach solfege to a child just showing the notes on a board. They become meaningful once the child has played them, experimented them through their bodies on instruments. Then when you go from the practical approach to the theoretical approach, makes sense. There is a link, and it stays with them. So that's how I see Montessori in the music world.
Dr. Montessori gave us a universal approach to the education of the whole human being, and her educational philosophies and teaching methods are being delivered by dedicated and highly trained teacher guides. These guides in the role of the classroom environment and nature are the catalysts for Montessori child-led learning.
In the Montessori philosophy, we call them guides because rather than the teacher holding all the knowledge, the teacher is guiding the student to learn how to find the knowledge themselves.
Butler impressed me immediately as having teachers that really pay attention on an individual basis to the kids.
I have basically like lists of lessons in my head at all times that I'm always ready to give the children, that I want to give the children I'm excited about. When I get that key opportunity, I truly am trying to capture the timing based off of their own interests. And when children are doing that, then I can pretty much teach them anything that a parent might be concerned about.
The parents have to trust the school. They have to trust the employees, the staff at the school, and they have to trust the model. And so, because it's a different educational model.
I have some kids that they just like to put their arms on that big animal and feel them breathe.
and that just quiets them down. You know, the psyche of the person, how to deal with another creature that needs them. It's awesome. That's why I'm here.
You're fine. Can you help? Let go.
I love Butler. I've given 100% every day that I walk in the door for the kids. I love the kids. I am not a father myself. You know, I feel like these are my kids, and they go out into the world and they become these people. And it's an honor to be someone who helps to kind of support their growth.
Montessori schools have been a part of the American educational landscape since the early 1900s. But it was not until the 1960s when the movement experienced a revival that a new generation of Montessorian leaders like Rilla Spellman were born.
I think that the fascination of human development was always something that my mother was deeply interested in. How did humans develop to their full potential? And so the opportunity to have a place where a wide variety of learning styles could be met with challenges and offered opportunities, I think for her was the light bulb.
Rilla was just so loving. She just loved the kids, and you felt it. When she came around in the classroom, it wasn't like, I need to do some work now. It was like, I'm so glad you're here. It's just very unique. I mean, it was exactly what Butler School is.
When she started down the road of wanting to develop the land and start a school, of course, there were many people who just laughed out loud. We're like, well, that's a ridiculous idea, you know? She was a very determined person. She did not easily accept that there would be challenges that she would face, but for her, they were just something that was, you know, getting in the way of her dream, and she was going to move that rock no matter what.
And it turns out that I know a lot of the people who gave Rilla the startup money in the beginning, because I know she was out beg, borrowing, stealing, trying to pull things together. And she tapped all kinds of folks around the Darnestown area. She really believed in what she was doing here, and I'm so thankful that she did it.
When you look at the campus, this does not occur without a lot of energy for your dreams, as well as just everything it takes to get off the ground. And again, it was one of those moments when I had a very deep appreciation of what Rilla gave to all of us.
Over its 50 years of operation, Butler Montessori has expanded its facilities, cared for its majestic natural surroundings and campus, and stayed true to Dr. Montessori's educational methods.
So many things pop up and then disappear. And to be able to say we've been here for 50 years is something to be proud of. The fact that we are educating children in Maria Montessori's way is amazing. And the fact that we can keep doing so no matter what is going on outside the world and what the new fad education is, that we're not going to deviate from what we believe in.
How was your day? Just in general, stewardship of the campus is really important to me, making sure that the shelves and the classrooms and the teachers and that the environment is as prepared as it can be for the next generation. And we should consider where we are in terms of management of our property, which we've been very good stewards of in the recent years. We're looking to do a forest to farm garden and building a naturescape playground. So we have some plans coming for the future that we're really excited about.
A school like ours really does require investment from everybody. It requires them to be invested with their children, with their community within Butler, and that can come in a lot of different ways.
It's not just the students and the teachers and the other people who work at the school, it's also parent involvement that I think makes this such a wonderful community.
I talk to people who went to Butler, and I mean, it's unanimous. We all talk about like Butler being probably the best days of our lives, and we should celebrate that.
It's wonderful what you all are doing here, and just keep up good work. We're just looking forward to next generation of these so bright children. They're going to make a difference in the world, I know.
Wow, that was really wonderful. And I hope that you enjoyed our video presentation as much as I did. And so grateful for everyone for helping to make that come together. Now I'm going to introduce our final guest. I met Kenna in the fall of 1999 when I taught her young son. She was so excited about the Montessori pedagogy that she decided to change careers and became a Montessori teacher in 2005. She recently retired and now serves as a trustee on our board. We are all so grateful for her continued support. Thank you, Kenna. Kenna's going to come and tell us a little story as well. How are you? You're muted. Can't hear you.
Okay, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yay.
Yay, okay. These little things pop up. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Laura, and thanks to everyone who made this celebration possible, but especially Rilla. Laura had asked me to think about some memories from my time at Butler, so I had to go through my memories as a parent and then all the years as a teacher. But when I watched the movie, it showed us the role of the guide as the adult in the classroom. And that brought something to my mind, because that doesn't mean that the guide doesn't have opportunities to be a kid sometimes. And I was reminded that I used to let my upper elementary class have the last 15 to 20 minutes of the school day to run around outside, tag, soccer, whatever. And one spring, I think it was spring of 2008, the kids had found a long rope in the classroom and took it outside to use as a jump rope. I decided at that moment to be a kid, and so I joined them in jumping rope, teaching them the jump rope rhymes that I knew from my childhood. The boys even joined in and enjoyed it as much as the girls. It was such fun that for the last several weeks of school that year, they jumped rope together in the afternoons, sometimes with me joining in. And that opportunity to be a kid along with those kids is a very special memory to me. And while I'm no longer jumping rope, maybe some of them still are, although they're all in their early 20s now. Wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that story. Kenna shared an amazing picture of her son recently, who just became a Green Beret. So that was a lot of years and a lot of fun that we've had together. As you can see, Butler Montessori is truly an amazing place, and we plan to be around for another 50 years, nurturing generations to come. And we are so excited to announce that in celebration of our 50th kickoff, a generous donor has offered us a challenge for this coming week. I love challenges. When 50 people make a gift to our school by October 17th, we'll receive $10,000. What a wonderful way to kick off our 50th.
And even though it's becoming a bit of a cliche, we all know that these are difficult times, but this challenge allows everyone to contribute to the celebration and support of Butler. Whether you can contribute $5 or $50, just by sending something, Butler should be able to meet the challenge and receive that generous $10,000. So we are asking and hoping that everyone on this webinar can participate with a donation.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kenna.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight, for being such an important part of our community, and for helping us to kick off our 50th, even in these very, very different times. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.